Hello friends, Adam here with FED. So before we get started, I want to say thank you to everyone who watches these videos, comments, likes the videos, and subscribes to the channel. I really appreciate it. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't be a thing, so I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do so. I appreciate it. But today we're going to talk about the Wyvern Lord class. We're going to be continuing our series of talking about all the different master classes, and we'll probably move on to do different, not even just master classes, but just classes in general in 3 houses, and making them either better, like talking about how we can make them better, talking about what units really like to be in this class, and also just what makes this class so good in general, if it already is amazing. And that's going to be the case with Wyvern Lord, which is like stupid good class. And we're going to go over exactly why it's so good and why any shortcomings it might have really don't matter that much in the long run, except for maybe one thing that I will talk about. Alright, Wyvern Lord is pretty easy to get into, all things considered. Sea Lances, you can do that really quick. A Axes and A Flying, you just focus on those for most of the game and you'll get into it. You focus on those 2 things and you'll get it pretty quickly, is all I'm saying. So getting in to any class, in my opinion, getting into any class isn't actually that hard. Aside from maybe like, I don't know, like armored classes or something. For some reason I find those to be more difficult to get into. Maybe because I just don't like them. And there goes Milo barking. Hopefully he doesn't do that much more today. Alright, so yeah, pretty easy to get into. Pretty easy. Let's look at its growth rates. Again, probably the least important part about the class, but worth talking about. These growth rates are amazing. These modifiers are really good. In particular, I love the 15 strength and the 10 speed. That is awesome. That is awesome. So if you you put a unit who has a middling strength stat, or strength growth I should say, like Ingrid or something, put her into this and suddenly she has a 50% speed not speed growth, 50% strength growth, and she's actually gonna be leveling up her strength pretty often at that point. That 15% can make a huge difference in the long run. So by end game, I feel like most of my units that I deploy every single map, and if I'm not warp skipping a bunch, then I feel like I usually end up around level 40 or 45 by the end of maddening new game. New game minus, no new game plus. So that's 10 levels where you get to utilize that, which can be pretty nice. So yeah, growths are amazing. There's not a single thing about them that's bad. Yeah, -5 magic is bad, technically, but that's not going to affect anything at all for a unit you're putting into Wyvern Lord specifically, unless you have some specific build using a bolt axe or using some magic axe attack or something. So yeah, good stuff. Stat boosts. Wyvern Lord has so many good stat boosts. They have boosts in all the most important stuff. So 4 strength when mounted, 4 speed when mounted, 3 defense, just 3 defense for free, and then +4 move, so it's a total of 8 move when mounted. Just stupid, insane, good buffs, man. These are all so good. Ugh. Why is a class that's already flying and has all this different utility and stuff, get this? Get all this madness just to make them even better. Comparing them to other classes, they're just better, flat out, than other stat wise, they may not have the highest total in any particular stat, I don't think, but they are 1 or 2, they're the second best in them, I feel like. So strength when mounted, they're only beaten by War Master. HP they tie, well, I guess HP they tie for 3rd best, which isn't that great, but whatever. Dexterity also not that, kind of whatever. But speed, 2nd best. Defense, 2nd best. Move, tied for the best. Wyvern Lord has literally no offensive weakness. They're just meant to just fly around and just murder things, apparently, and they're designed that way, so it's fun. And then 3 defenses, just, I don't know, tankiness is good. All right, now let's look at the class abilities. So Canto, you have to have it because mounted. Axe Fair, +5 damage is always a good. And Avoid +10 can be really fun when paired with Alert Stance Plus. And I don't know if you want to use Sword Avoid or something like that, or from Dancer. or something else that allows you to dodge more, or like Defiant Evade if you want to be like sick nasty and to go from Master Falcon Knight and then move into Wyvern Lord for some reason. But like, why would you do that? Might as well just stay Falcon Knight at that point. But yeah, Wyvern Lord just, there's nothing bad about it, except the mastery ability is kind of whatever. Defiant Crit, you know, it's kind of like Wrath, but like not. Defiant Crit's kind of whatever. Under 25% HP, you get some extra crit, which can be nice, but I would prefer that to be something else personally. But hey, not this class can't have literally everything perfect with it. You know, like it should have a flaw or two, and that's one of them. That's one of the flaws. I don't like Defiant Crit. The other flaw is not even that major in my opinion, especially by the end game, but what it really does is it makes it so you don't want every single unit to be a flyer. You know, when the game first came out, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna make everyone a flyer because why not? You know, it's fine. Fire Emblem flyers are good. But the problem is flying units can't use grounded battalions. They are limited to flying battalions, which there aren't that many that have. There aren't many flying battalions that have like good gambits outside of, you'll have like, I don't know, like Assault Troop is like, okay, a force-based gambit. But it's like a lot of assembly and stuff like that it's not going to be as useful as having, you know, your Blazes, your Fusiliad, however you say it, and then like, you know, Blessing, Impregnable Wall, stuff like that aren't going to be as common, or even that don't even exist on a flying battalion compared to being able to use the grounded ones that have all of those things available. So that is what like holds the Wyvern Lord back, I guess. But that's not very much. And I think they're balanced more towards maddening too. If you play maddening mode, you can't really send your flyer unless you like really grind or super late in the game. They're super strong. You have some like an evasion set up, like I was talking about with like Alert Stance, Void plus 10, and then something else. You can't really send them into a swarm of enemies because so their high movement and mobility ends up kind of checking them. That's what I'm saying is that checks their high movement, high mobility, and you know, ignoring terrain and all that, so that you can't just fly them into the middle of the enemy and just destroy everything, like you can in some other games like Radiant Dawn and the like. So maddening definitely puts flyers in their place, but still probably the best physical class for most units. There could be some argument for War Master or for maybe even Grappler for some, but overall Falcon Knight and Wyvern Lord are probably your best bets. Alright, so what do we change to this class? It's so good that I think we do need to make some nerfs. And I hate nerfing things in video games. It's never fun. I prefer buffing things. I think if you have one thing that's overpowered, well, you should just buff everything else maybe. But there are a few things that I think I would change to this class to make it less just the best option, like always. Give it some drawback. And it's going to start with the proficiencies, the things you need to have, the ranks you need to have before you can get into it. I'm going to raise Lances to B. Just make it B Lances, make it just slightly harder to get into. You know, you'll be rewarded for your efforts by getting into an amazing class, but I think it should just be slightly harder to get into. Because C anything is pretty easy. I feel like once you like start asking for a B rank, it starts being a little more work. So I want B Lances, A Axes, and A Flying. And I think that's fair. Growth rates, I don't think they need to change. Maybe take away the speed. I don't see why you need that here. Take the speed off, put it on defense or something. Give it more of a niche and make it more, just make it different than Falcon Knight, you know? Make it so it's less of like a speed demon class, because that's kind of what it ends up being. Just like all flying classes for some reason like have stupid amounts of speed. So just like take that off and put it on defense and make it so it's more of a flying tank than, make it more of a flying tank than what Falcon Knight is already. Other than that, I think I just leave it. 30 HP is so good too. Like, man, so good. Stat boost. This is where I'm like, I have a few ideas, but I don't necessarily like them. I don't want to change the class too much. But what I might do is make it so, like maybe it's just get rid of this 2, so it's just +2 when mounted and for speed, and then maybe put like, I don't know, maybe put 1 more on defense, just to kind of again just to differentiate it from Falcon Knight a little more. Make it so it's less of a speedy class and more of like a flying tank, which could be fun. So yeah, let's do that. So let's get rid of this. So it's only +2 when mounted for speed, and instead you get like 4 defense or something like that, or 5 defense, which would be really cool. So essentially make them slower, but make them tankier. And finally, class abilities. I don't think the class abilities need to change. Kanto, Axe Fair, and Avoid +10. Those are totally fine. I don't think that's too overdone. Defiant Crit, though, is kind of lame, and I'd want them to, you know, if we're going for like more of a flying tank, I'd want to change that to fit that role, to be something maybe along the lines of I don't know, a Pavias, an Aegis, or something like that. Something like a Great Shield that combines them or something. But we already kind of talked about that, having that on Great Knight, which would be better. So maybe something less like that. Maybe that's how you could learn, you know, like Full Guard from like the Teleus games. There's an item called Full Guard. In Teleus games, I mean Path of Radiance. That protects the unit when equipped from all extra damage, like effective damage. So that'd be kind of a cool mastered ability to get from Wyvern Lord that you could pass to other, like, and then you could pass it to other classes where it's not stuck there. So you could put it onto other flying classes if you wanted. I think that'd be really cool. And then I throw on a mastered art that's fun. I don't know. Give us Soul, give us Luna, give us something that's not in the game that we'd like to see. But those are just my thoughts. That's what I would do to make Wyvern Lord a little more different, but also just make it a little like more so not like nerfed, but more so just different. I want it to be more unique than what it is now. I feel like it's very much what it's basically just a stronger Falcon Knight at this point, and I think that's kind of lame. So I want to see a little bit of change there. But let me know in the comments, what would you do to the Wyvern Lord class? What would you change? What would you keep the same? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time, friends.